Oh, it's working. Hello. Yeah, no, I'm fine today. So it turns out, hang on, let me just turn off my heater. It turns out, yeah, it was the Claratyne that made me depressed. So I woke up today and yeah, doing a lot better. Brain fog's kind of gone. Um, awesome. So I guess Claratyne, not something I should be taking, makes me depressed. That sucks, but at least we know now. Instead, while I was at work today, Mum got me this stuff to try. It's like some kind of free sample, and so I give that a go. But today, actually, my hay fever was all right, and I'm not sure if that's just like, maybe Sydney is just slightly less flying in the air today, or I don't know. Yeah, no. So I woke up, no brain fog. Someone tell me if the sound's working, by the way. No brain fog. Now I'm heaps tired though because I've been at work, so I probably feel a bit. I probably seem a bit confused. Anyway, let me get my thoughts together. No, I was actually able to function and not really feeling depressed and so on. I was able to concentrate. I was able to drive. So I got to work fine. About halfway through the day, I did feel a bit dizzy. Sound working fine? Awesome. Thanks for that. Yeah, about halfway through the day, I think I was bending down to like sweep up bits of soil and leaves and things, and that's when I felt a bit dizzy. And so I'm not sure, that it's seems a bit like maybe a blood pressure thing. I haven't bothered to go upstairs and check my blood pressure. Dad's got one of those things you put on your arm. I just can't be bothered. Yeah, but otherwise I made it through the day fine, just maybe a bit tired in that kind of a way. Yeah, so it really was just the antihistamine that messed me up yesterday. So yeah. What else? I'm just like, while they're watching TV, I really just wanted to come on quickly and give that update and not have to edit anything. So yeah, what else is going on? I don't know. Oh, I'm so out of it because it's Wednesday and I'm tired and whatever. But we had Macca's. Dave brought home like this huge thing of Macca's for dinner, and yesterday we had Thai. So yeah, I've had lots of comfort food, I guess you would say. But so yeah, no, with the whole am I getting depressed thing, I've still got my appointment with my doctor next week, so I'll just tell her. I'm pretty sure it was the Claratyne that made me depressed. And now that I think of it, the symptoms were so biological that, yeah, I guess next time I feel that bad all of a sudden and have so many of those physical symptoms, I can think maybe it's something I've ingested and not just my brain going a bit crazy. It does sort of make you think, like, about things like free will and the nature of consciousness, and how much is my biology messing with what I think and feel. Although it was mainly what I feel. I don't feel like I was thinking much different. I was just like, shit, am I getting depressed? Also, I'm really sorry about the little pimples I've got. I don't know how no one commented on the last video about that. So I'm like, okay, maybe the lighting was just good enough to obscure that. But I do wonder if maybe having this screw up my system could have helped out with the acne. I know a lot of people are getting mask acne apparently, or at least the mainstream media wants you to think that. The bloody commercial stations, I don't like them. But I've been wearing a mask since basically the start of the pandemic and haven't had any skin issues. So I do wonder if some of these popping up is like, partly something that this has done to me. I don't know. Like the pill that I'm on, the contraceptive pill that I'm on, I think is officially prescribed to me for acne. So there's like weird hormonal things that can go on there. And I wonder, I don't know how Claratyne made me feel shit, but maybe there's some weird mechanism that threw me out of balance. But yeah, no, I'm feeling a lot better today, apart from being tired because I worked. Anyway, yeah, no, I'll tell my doctor that it was probably just the Claratyne. In terms of my mood today, like I was working, so not really much time to think about it, and keeping busy all day, because plants keep growing. I know economies around the world are doing shit, but plants don't stop growing just because. Yeah, so we had a lot of stuff to work on. Gosh, some heavy ones. There was this one tree that I just couldn't lift. I had to get my boss to lift it for me. And I mean, I think it was probably just heavy and not that I am in a slightly weakened state with the Claratyne still in my system. So, although like good to know, it takes about 48 hours, I guess, for it to wear off and dizziness. And then with my mood, I guess my mood has been a little bit stuck in the darker. Hey, no, sorry about no warning. I think like maybe I will try to live stream on Wednesdays for that brief half hour while they're watching stuff. I didn't start fast enough tonight, so I've only got about 13 minutes left before I start wondering if I shut this down. Although they might be watching some other thing on Netflix afterwards, so if they do, maybe we can keep going for a bit. Although I will need to take a toilet break. Gosh, what was I just talking about? My mood. Yeah, okay, so my mood, I definitely feel better. I'm not like, on the verge of crying and all that. Hopefully I seem a bit more animated despite being tired from working today. But yeah, no. With my mood, I guess I just like driving. I was not in the mood for I have the CDs that I take. We've got a little CD player in our car still because it's older. I know some people have God knows what in their cars these days. I like listening to CDs though, and listening like from start to finish without shuffle. Like there's just something nice about it sometimes. But yeah, no, before Claratyne, I was on to My Chemical Romance and Five Finger Death Punch. Forget the names of the albums. The one with the Black Parade. Is it called the Black Parade? And then the Five Finger Death Punch. This one, like The Way of the Fist. Is that a song or the name of the album? I don't even know. But they're a bit more high energy, and today I was just not feeling like that kind of high energy stuff. So I had Linkin Park Reanimation album, and I also put in my bag Nine Inch Nails Year Zero, but I think that just felt a bit too upbeat. Even when I was driving home, like I was just like, no, I'm gonna go back to the Linkin Park, and it's sort of making me miss rap a little bit. Do you have anxiety like me? I don't officially have an anxiety diagnosis. I've never been diagnosed with anxiety at all. The only thing psychologically I've been diagnosed with is major depressive disorder. Although the last episode of depression I had went for so long that I also qualified for dysthymia. And then like I've done a video, melancholic depression and dysthymia, and it was kind of like a double depression because I had both simultaneously. That sucked. That was a shit time in my life. With anxiety though, so you go to the psychologist and they fill out the form, or at least I don't know where you're from, but in Australia, you fill out the forms like how you're feeling on these scales. Apparently I test highly for anxiety, but I don't qualify for a general anxiety disorder. I've never qualified for that. And yeah, it just doesn't interfere in my life. Like I do get anxious sometimes, but it's not crippling the way depression has been crippling for me in the past. You're fine in the day, but in the night, your mind. Okay, I don't know as much about anxiety. I know with depression, I had biological depression. I mean, I guess maybe my earlier depressions could have been a bit more psychological, but my last depression was definitely very biological by comparison. That's why they put me on meds. With biological melancholic depression, you tend to feel worse in the morning. Like I guess with psychological depression, you wake up and then you think about stuff and then you feel shit. And then maybe with biological depression, you just wake up feeling shit. But maybe the day goes okay and you start feeling better by the end. Simplification, but like that's kind of how I think about it, how I remember which one's which as well. I don't know if anxiety has a similar problem, but I guess like anxiety, depression, kind of related in some ways. But hey, do you think antihistamines got it started in the past? I haven't really taken many antihistamines in the past. Yeah, depressive episodes. No, because like this is the first time I've ever had Claratyne, as far as I remember. I tried Zyrtec few weeks, couple months ago maybe, and it just made me sleepy. Yeah, so I only took it that one day and then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so tired." So I just didn't take it again. I feel like maybe I might have taken Zyrtec like a long time ago in the past, maybe once, but yeah, I don't remember. It's I've never taken antihistamines regularly, and this one took me a couple before I really like just crashed. Um, God, that was an awful experience, and it's just like I don't know. It's like how much of my brain is like me thinking about stuff and how much of it is just chemistry messing with me. And when I have had time to think today, I've been sort of like, consciousness is an illusion, I'm just a meat puppet. uh, I'm trying to figure out what's giving me anxiety. Could it be the gory games that I play? Like, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, there's all kinds of things that can cause stuff like anxiety. But yeah, I'm not as good at that because I haven't had anxiety, so it's not something I've been inclined to research. I mean, some of these things are to do with brain chemistry. And sometimes, like, there's not really anything you can do for it. Like, you can go to therapy. And if that works, that's great. But if you have a biological problem like I did, that's when you maybe need to look at medications. I think you're quite young though, so it's really weird how your own brain. Yeah, yeah. It's like you end up having to fight your own body chemistry, and it's just like, oh my god. Or if you have a psychological depression, I guess you just sort of a lot of people think about I'm a failure, and no one wants me around, and blah 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 blah. That stuff, yeah, you're still fighting yourself in a way because your brain is telling itself lies. Yeah, yeah, no. So like, I don't know about medication for younger people, because I don't know. Just yeah, for me, like because I had biological depression, I probably did need medications, and it's not that medication didn't work. It's just that for some reason, I'm super sensitive to stuff, so I just kept getting all these side effects, and I couldn't work. Not really that for me. It's kind of like thinking about me. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of anxiety that would be classified as. I don't know what would cause it. Like I guess if you're playing certain types of games, maybe that would be giving you a shock every now and then. But I tend to think when you're playing video games, or if you watch a lot of, I don't know, horror or something, my assumption is that over time you would become a bit desensitized to it, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. When I was younger, like going on a roller coaster, right? Upside down roller coasters, I would not do it. But then when I got older and like had been through a bit of depression, I just didn't feel anything anymore, and I can just go upside down and it's like shit, hey. um oh yeah, no. Nervous neuron probably knows more about all this psychology stuff than me. So yeah, if you guys want to chat in the live chat, that's fine. Yeah, no, I just like the last time I went on an upside down roller coaster. Oh god, that must have been a long time ago. When did I? I don't know. Like, yeah, I was just sort of shocked at how much I didn't care about going upside down. And then I guess I used to be a bit more anxious about heights, but now I'm just sort of dead inside. And so you get me up on high ropes, and I guess some of them are difficult. And if it's particularly challenging, maybe you feel something. But I'm just sort of like, no, just da 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 da, do the thing. Here we are, up on a high thing. Yeah, no, I just sort of became kind of numb, I guess. They don't seem like intrusive thoughts. Hey, I guess it's hard, you know, with some of these things, like to try and sort it out through written word and text. I guess it's a bit tricky to figure out what's going on. I mean, that's why like therapy sessions and counseling sessions tend to be in person, I guess. Also because if you might be saying something, but your body might be saying something different, like body language might help the psychologist or whoever figure out what's going on with you, like whether or not maybe you're nervous to say something because you're worried they'll judge or whatever. But, their job's not really to judge. Oh, hello. I know it's a super random question, but do you do 3D modeling like Unreal Engine or Blender? Is that something you would get into? I have not done that kind of stuff. I think like a long time ago in high school, we had RhinoCAD or something, and the teachers didn't know how to use it. And I mucked around in it, and it was just like, it didn't make any sense to me. That was, God, how long have I been out of school now? How old am I? Oh my God, that was ages ago. Holy shit. Yeah, I haven't used any of that stuff. I think is Blender free? But I don't know. I don't think I have the concentration span for it. I wouldn't even know what I would model. I don't have any ideas really. Like I play with clay sometimes, or I used to, but these days not so much. Psychiatrists have hard enough time sorting it out. Yeah, my psychiatrist basically gave up trying to find meds for me because he was getting pretty frustrated. Before I stopped trying meds, we were going to try an antipsychotic. Like we'd already tried an ADHD drug, had to get government approval for that. It just made me queasy. And then we were going to move on to an antipsychotic. But by that stage, I was just so tired of the side effects. I was like, nah, just let's not do this anymore. When my anxiety first started, when I was fine in the day, but in the night my stomach wouldn't feel good, then my brain would explode with negative thoughts. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that because it's just not not my experience. If you have questions about depression, maybe I can help. Although the things I think about seem to be a bit different to what gets other people down. I guess because if mine is mostly biological depression when I get depressed, then it doesn't really matter what thoughts I'm having. I guess like positive thoughts could help, but biology will mess you up regardless of what you're thinking. And the proof is in the past however many days trying this stuff, because I was doing fine. And then all of a sudden, bang, like really bad, horrible depression, this horrible weight on me. I couldn't do anything. And it's like, what's changed? I did have some thoughts on Sunday night, but I sort of got to this sort of steady state of like, oh, well, it's not such a big deal. But then Monday morning, I was just felt awful. And it was quite scary in that sense. Yeah. And then when I'm fine as opposed to depressed, I tend to think the same stuff anyway. Like to me, life is pointless, but it only really upsets me that it's pointless when I'm depressed, if that makes any sense. Not saying you are, because I don't know you ever consider you're actually bipolar. Psychologists and psychiatrists are always trying to figure out what else I might have, because it does seem a bit like, is it just depression? So they've tried asking me about, things related to bipolar. They've tried asking me things related to OCD. Autism's the most recent one. A long time ago, sort of looked at schizoid personality disorder with maybe my second psychologist. That was a long time ago, but I didn't fit that either. The thing about bipolar is like, I don't really have manic episodes. I know I can seem energetic, but it's not really mania. Maybe I'll get into something and like buy the stuff that I need to get crafty and whatever and get kind of into it. But, not in a mania way. So if I did have something like that, it would be, what's the, maybe Nervous Neuron can help me. What's that one? Like, it's like the dysthymia version of mania, the like less severe mania, and you sort of cycle. I think there's like cyclothymia, except that that's going between mild depression and mild mania. Whereas I'm more of a like horrible depression and hypomania. Yeah, okay, that like if I have any kind of mania, it would be hypomania, which means like less severe. But anytime I've filled out those little questionnaires or talked to them, yeah, anytime I've talked to them about that stuff, it's not qualified for a diagnosis of anything. Same with OCD. I'm feeling fine on one day and sad the other day. Yeah, no, I tend to just feel depressed for ages, and then so these days I kind of just feel average for a while. uh, I actually no. In the past little while, I've had some occasions where I felt pretty good, um, but yeah, mostly I just sort of feel meh. Kind of neutral. Um, it's 8:30, so they're gonna watch that other show. Can't hear much going on. Um, but no, like with OCD, for example, so I can be a bit obsessive. And with my last psychiatrist, when I went to see him, I wrote out like a list of basically every symptom and, things going through my head. And it was a couple of pages. Maybe they were double-sided pages. I don't remember. But not many people, not many patients would go through and list everything that's going on with them. And so I think straight away was like, this seems obsessive. 6 a.m. Oh my God. 6 a.m.'s too early for me. I guess I'm getting old though, if but with my dog's routine, I have to get up at 6:30 every morning. So yeah, that's forced me to go to bed earlier these days. But yeah, 6 a.m. Whether you're staying up all night or waking up early, 6 a.m. is just not a time I want to be conscious, although sometimes I do wake up. Last night I didn't actually sleep very much. But I guess because I had a depression nap yesterday, had enough rest, so I'm okay. Australia's cool, I want to go there someday. Yeah, well, one day when COVID's not a thing, because we're not really letting anyone in at the moment. And then the different states are arguing about borders. Someone's opened a door. What are they up to? I also need to go to the bathroom in a moment. But my tea's getting cold too. Let me just I think maybe they are going to watch something, so maybe we can keep going for a bit. I also want to watch Buffy at some point, though. On to season 3, and yeah, there's heaps that I just don't remember. Wow, like, I guess I just haven't paid as much attention to Buffy. I'm more of an Angel fan. Find him more relatable. An epic YouTuber. Oh, I'm a chaotic YouTuber. Like right now I'm going through a period of trying to, make content. I guess it's a hobby, but I'm not consistent. I've sort of been on and off over the past few years. And I don't really have any particular focus, especially not at the moment. Yeah, no, these days YouTube channels, so many people have such structured YouTube channels, and I just can't be like that. I'm more of a late 2000s YouTuber. That's when I got into it. It's just like have a thought, make a video. I'm not quite at that stage these days, but yeah, it's a bit like that. It's just these days there's so many more things to fill out. Another really weird thing that triggers my anxiety is nostalgia. Nostalgia from old games, movies, shows. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't heard of that one. I wonder what that could be. I drank too much. Easily distracted is my cup today, which is pretty accurate. The lighting is a bit much, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, so I'm glad I'm not depressed. And but I do feel like I need to be a little bit careful over the next few days. So tomorrow I'm just going to rest and just take it easy. Because yeah, it sort of knocked me around a bit. And then today feeling like, moody and music. Maybe I need a few more days to really like get back into it. And then, I've had other stuff on my mind, but I'm not going to go into. Just, yeah, I really need to figure out what I want to do with my life as well. Like, what's my goal? And, music's been a bit iffy, especially with COVID, because I like performing, but, what opportunities are there? I don't really know games. I'm not really a gamer. A lot of people looked at that Alienware computer and were like, "It's a gamer girl." Like, yes, I am a gamer girl. Haha. No. And now my Xbox thing is expired, so I'm not gonna be playing Final Fantasy anymore. And we saw how that last that last attempt went. Oh my god, it was terrible. So if I do play any games, I'll be going back to maybe Beyond Earth. We can pick up that game that I played when I was doing my 4K test. Um, just we won't play in 4K because I'm too blind for that. And Free Space 2. I'm pretty sure it works on this computer. I just haven't actually played anything yet. So we can get into that. And what else? Oh, I have Age of Mythology. That's an old one. Oh, there's crazy fancy computer, and that's the kind of stuff I want to be playing. Oh my god. But no, I'm not really a gamer. It just feels like you put so much effort into it and you don't really achieve anything in your real life. I think that's where I got, like, it's a great distraction, especially when you're depressed. While I was depressed, I played like Stardew Valley. I've got that somewhere, and there's some other game I downloaded for cheap that I just never opened and never got around to. But Stardew Valley, that farming kind of game, you turn off the game music, you chuck on some heavy metal in the background, and you just go around, tending your chickens, screaming out stuff along with the music. And it's a great way to pass the time when you're feeling shit. But yeah, no, I just don't feel like that. It's a real time suck, and I don't think I get enough out of games to invest so much time. I'd rather try and do something productive, but sometimes hard to think of what exactly that means. Like, what is productive? But yeah, I wasn't going to get anything done with the bloody Claratyne. Oh my god, I couldn't even, when my doctor was giving me this list of stuff, like, trying to write down this list of stuff to do, trying to make me think of things I enjoy. It was so hard to think. Tenacious D, I like that one song, Tribute. Ba-da-ba-da-bum, dun, 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 ba-da-ba-da-bum, dun. Oh, where does it go? Long time ago, me and my brother Kyle here, hitchhiking down a long, lonesome road. That one's fun. But I don't know any of their other songs. I'm more into the, like, heavy metal kinds of stuff, but I'm kind of picky about what heavy metal I like. Yeah, and that's made it a bit hard to find a band, I think. Just being too picky. I have tried to compromise. I tried to compromise with the most recent band I joined for a bit, and it just didn't pan out, because then they wanted to go even further from what I was into, and it was just like, well, this isn't going well. And they'd been talking about how their last singer held them back from doing what they wanted to do, and I was just like, well, make me feel guilty if I stay. So yeah. But it was good to practice. There's a Tenacious D movie. I don't know that. I don't know many movies. I tend to just watch the same stuff all the time. We've got Fight Club, Venom, The Mummy, with Tom Cruise, not the other ones. Yeah, no, there's a bit of a theme going on there. Yeah, I've got like an Alien box set. Like Aliens, whatever. Yeah, Fight Club is great. And what I love about Fight Club is that when I was first YouTubing, I don't know how many of you guys remember that, but a bunch of you suggested that I should watch Fight Club and didn't spoil the twist for me. So I was watching it, like, everyone's like, yeah, you'll really appreciate it, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I sat down and watched it, and I was like, I see why you guys suggested this one for me. It's a lot of fun. I got into that, and every now and then I watch it again. And it's fun watching that kind of movie a second time around, because you do spend time thinking, oh, and there's this thing, and then this thing, and you try and think about how things actually look in a movie. Yeah, Fight Club's great. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, no, I like that Fight Club has that kind of YouTube background for me. Like, that's one of the things when I was doing my first run of YouTubing, that all the viewers were like, yeah, you should totally watch this. And that was a lot of fun. Like the fact that no one spoiled it for me. I kind of miss those old YouTube days. I kind of wish I didn't take that break, but I was at a weird time in my life, and I guess I was a bit insecure, and I listened to people I shouldn't have, or person. That was my ex. I'm not a jealous guy, but I don't want all these people watching you. Yeah, okay. Oh, hello. You seriously have a future in your music, loving your latest album. Could be the next Shannon if you really want to. Yes, Tenacious D is here. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad everyone loves the AD Destroyer album. I think we can keep live streaming for a bit. I think although they're watching Netflix, so if they get upset about me taking up bandwidth, I might have to stop streaming, but I think we're okay. I was trying to explain to Dad what the download speed is like and all that, and the upload speed's more important to me. But anyway, yeah, no, AD Destroyer. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I wish it hadn't taken so long, but life gets in the way. What can you do? We'll see what we come up with next. I think the band that I joined earlier in the year, I took my vocals back from the one song that we did write, and we might use it for AD Destroyer. That'll be interesting. I've already heard like he's done a sort of rough idea of how to change it up to suit our style, and it's very different to what the other band was going to be doing. So yeah, if we can keep that up, it'd be interesting to see where it goes. But with life doing its thing, it'd be interesting to see. Anyway, no, the next thing I wanted to get sorted was my hair, but Full Metal Jacket. This is another thing I don't know. I'm very culturally sheltered. There's a lot of things I don't know, a lot of movies I don't watch, a lot of pop culture I don't pay attention to. Yeah. I don't know. I've always been a bit like that. I think it's just like partly my family being a bit different as well. My youngest brother's got disabilities, so that's changed a lot. And then, being half Japanese, and yeah. I think there's a lot of factors that have made my family a bit different to others. Anyway, music. Was I talking about music just then? No, I'm talking about hair. So following up on the hair thing, I was so close to like deciding what I wanted, and then the bloody Claratyne really disrupted my weekend because I took it. I think in the last video I said I took it Friday afternoon. I think it was actually in the morning though, because I think I filmed that video before lunchtime. But anyway, whenever I took it, I think maybe it did mess up my weekend a bit because, I was hoping I'd have energy to get stuff done over the weekend. And I did get some things done, but it was difficult. And then Sunday I felt quite unproductive. I just cleaned my room and whatever. But no, one of the things I wanted to get done was looking at all this hair stuff that I want to get from the UK, which is going to be an expensive exercise, but no one else really sells the stuff that I'm into. So I'm just going to have to bite that bullet and just buy a lot at once so I don't have to pay extra shipping. Anyway, I was going to do that over the weekend, but I think just my energy levels, my motivation especially was quite hit. And so I just couldn't sit down and feel inspired enough to finally decide what I actually want to get. And then of course Monday and Tuesday I was basically useless and super depressed and in that state of mind of just what's the point of even trying any of this stuff. So yeah, that sucked, and it kind of got in the way of me doing some of those creative things. Because we don't have any band photos yet. So, we should try and get onto that. The whole launch was very rushed. But yeah, at least it's out there. Better to just get it out than to try and make things perfect. So we don't have any photos yet. We've also sort of been tossing up some ideas for how could we do a video? A little bit tricky with COVID, but on the other hand, with COVID, I guess people are a bit more open to doing, DIY type stuff. It's how do you organize a big group of people to film something? Not so easy. So we'll think about that. But that was one of the things I wanted to get the hair stuff sorted so that I could, maybe focus on some of that kind of thing. I mean, like I could do videos and photos with this, but I haven't straightened it after my shower, my post-bonsai shower, but it's boring. And I know some of you guys are like, no, but I like your long brown hair and whatever. But to me, this is incredibly boring and I don't understand you guys really. I guess it conforms to a sort of standard femininity. Someone's running around. Just give us a moment. Run back the other way. Hurry up. Oh, goodness me. Is it all right if I take a toilet break? Because I'm just like, while they're stuffing around, and I'll be like right back. Yeah, I miss having all the like little dreadies and the cyber tubies. I don't know that I'd get all of it put in there, but I don't know if I suit blonde. I think I'd go dark, really. Bathroom pass. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I could put up. I don't have a sign to put up, but if anyone asks, I'll be right back. Oh my god. Yeah, so I think what's going on is Mikey's still awake. And almost 9 o'clock and Mikey's still awake. So yeah, I think Dave's just putting him to bed. Mikey's my disabled brother. He usually goes to bed heaps earlier than this. Oh, where am I going? Okay. Oh dear. Yeah, that was just. I think they're all done. So what happened to the focus? Here's my face. Focus on my face. Now we come up to the hypnosis part of the video. One thing I was just thinking. Maybe also, I wonder if it helped today that I had a Barocca yesterday. The reason I think about that is because it changes the color of your pee, and I just went to the bathroom and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing that happened yesterday. I wonder if that helped me get over this a little bit. Really, I took the Barocca because sometimes I get foot cramps at work. I guess if I'm like lifting stuff and my muscles are actually doing something for a change. Yeah, so that's why I try and take that. I didn't have it last week though, and I seemed fine. So maybe I don't actually need it. Maybe it's just a placebo effect. But hey, if I'm missing anything, maybe it's helping. If not, it's just expensive colored pee. But hey, that's amusing too, especially if you have like, those toilet fresheners. There's these ones that are these little balls. And they're at the moment I've got ones that make the toilet water go blue, so that if you have a Barocca and your pee is like a bright yellow, you can play with the chemistry of the colors. Is that just me? Foot cramps. Yeah, I think it's like magnesium or something that helps with the foot cramps. So like I'm pretty sure it was magnesium. Maybe there's one more other thing. I don't remember, but my doctor's like, instead of Berocca, you could just get the magnesium on its own, or foot cramps. So like your foot may, I think probably your field marshal, I think you might be too young to have experienced the horrors of foot cramps. Um, but like, you just get this random pain in your foot, and it's like your foot is trying to collapse in on itself, and one of the ways to make it hurt less is you try and stretch it back out and just like stretch it until it stops hurting. But then sometimes afterwards the muscle still feels a bit sore because it's just tensed up like crazy. um, Although, like, I think I did get some cramps when I was younger in my muscles. I think you get it with growing pains sometimes as well. It depends on the person. Mum, I think, used to get not foot cramps, like just leg cramps and so on when she was younger really badly, but these days not so much. Yeah, yeah, we know the deal. Oh my God, it's terrible. Just step on stairs only with your toes, then lift up and down. Just kind of burn the bottom of your foot and keep things so the cramps go fully. Yeah, no, I tend to just sort of sit there like going, until it disappears. But if I'm at work and it happens, then yeah, I do. I just stand around trying to go on my tiptoes a little bit. I think I started to get a little bit of it today, but it was fine. Didn't stick around long enough to really be painful. Sometimes also when I'm working on stuff at bonsai, my hands will cramp up a little bit because some things are quite difficult when you're trying to get a tree to behave and it's just not doing the thing, or like, you got some thick wire that's not quite going so well. And so sometimes towards the end of the day, my hands will start getting all like, and then you try and stretch out your hands a little bit. But that's just because I'm using my muscles more than I usually do. This is one of the problems with having been depressed for a couple of years, is I really feel like my body lost a lot of stamina, fitness, endurance, whatever. And like, it'd be good if I could do more bonsai shifts, because it sounds like, they need it sometimes, especially in the spring. But I just don't, like, I need a whole day to recover tomorrow. Like, I'm perky now, but when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be a wreck. And then God knows if this will add to that, if there's any still left in my system tomorrow. That's why I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not going to plan anything for tomorrow. I'm just going to look after myself. But yeah, no, before I got that badly depressed, I was working 5 days a week, almost full time. And before that, I was also doing like retail, which is standing all day. And now I feel like I've gotten so old. Once I got such a bad cramp, I cried because it's like my leg and foot was moving by itself. Yeah, it's messed up. Like your foot just, or whatever, it just does its own thing. And you're like, why are you doing this painful thing? Anyway, goodness me. I'm glad I don't get period pain cramps anymore. I just skip all them. Maybe you don't want to know this stuff, that's fine. It's just like, for me, the worst thing about being a chick, and I'd have days where I couldn't function. That was something I used to complain about a lot in my older YouTube days. Just, I'm so glad I just decided to skip them all. My doctor is sort of like, don't know that that's healthy, but it just made my quality of life so much better because I don't have to spend 2 days feeling horrible and not able to do anything. And like, if you spend the rest of your month building up and getting a flow, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one, it's like, what's the point? So yeah, that really made my life better. I don't care. I'm not going to have kids. So if there is something wrong with skipping all your periods and I ruin my, what do you call it? Oh my God, it's been so long since I've thought about it. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Where the baby goes in your in the middle of your foot. Yeah. Genuinely can't think of the word right now. But if I ruin my reproductive system by skipping all my pills, who gives a shit? Because I'm not gonna uterus. Far out. That's how long it's been since I've thought about this stuff. I can't even remember the word uterus. Yeah, no, if I fuck that up by skipping all my periods, who cares? I'm not going to have kids. And then, like, if I get bigger health problems. I mean, that would suck, but I don't really plan on having a very long life. Got it from the typo, yeah. Oh my god, I have a friend who's just constantly typoing. She was my bass player in Rainbow Death Ray. The number of, if you go on Facebook and look up kit wing things as one word, so kit, like a drum kit wing things, one word on Facebook, you'll probably find her page. And every now and then I log in on her behalf and post one of her typos for her, because just for the world to giggle at, because I'm just like, how do you come up with these typos? I think she's just like, you know, on your phone and there's predictive text or whatever, and she's just completely messed it up. Yeah, Kit Wing. 7 now, so and I'm just like, and she doesn't bother to correct it. And what's really funny is, like, you know, she's good at English stuff, you know, probably more interested in that kind of thing. Like, she's really into Shakespeare and all that. And I think on Instagram she writes poetry, but I'm not sure what her handle is. I think she uses a different name on Instagram. But yeah, I don't really follow anyone on Instagram anyway, because I can't. Instagram's such a pain in the ass platform. But hey, but yeah, no, so she's good at English, she likes Shakespeare and all that, but when it comes to phone typing, which is what she mostly does, some hilarious typos, and I've just, yeah, sometimes I cannot decipher. Oh my god. Sometimes I do typo, but I try not to. I try to catch them before they go out. Not always successful, but what can you do? I tend to use a real keyboard though instead of the phone. Just because, like, trying to type like this, I don't like it. I want to have like proper keys. And maybe I'm just like old fashioned, you know, grew up in the 90s kid. But I don't know, touchscreens. And like touchscreens, the technology, like, it's amazing technology, yay, but it doesn't mean it's the best technology for every application. Like, you know, those credit card terminals, and sometimes it's just this screen. And I'm like, what if you're blind? You know, and it's easier to just do something that actually has buttons than to make sure, like, you know, you have to concentrate more if you have to actually see on the screen, and it could be anywhere, instead of, you know, just feeling your way around a keypad. I've still got my this, and I had the 3310 before that. This is the 3315. And, you know, I could just, you know, do stuff without even looking. And because it has real buttons are great. I don't. And then, you know, with cars, right, they started putting touchscreens in cars. But the thing is, when you're driving, you can't look at what you're doing. You're supposed to be looking at the road and checking your mirrors and all that. So if you know where it is by like a physical dial or whatever, that's much safer than you having to touch. I struggle to type on a phone. I stop laughing at the old people typing 2 fingers on a computer keyboard. Yeah, it's just like, but I think, like, objectively, there are problems with touchscreens in some applications, like, especially if you're blind. Like, we still got to think about accessibility now and then. And then a lot of us will have worse vision as we get older. You know, it's not just about the people who are old now. We'll be old soon too, and I already feel old with all the health problems I've managed to. Anyway, I just, you know, just because you can have a technology doesn't mean it's the best one to use. We can use some of the old school stuff. You know, it's like they say about reinventing the wheel. Although I suppose you could argue that tires, different types of tires, is like, well, I guess it's an enhancement of the wheel rather than a reinvention. Anyway, there's just some technologies that work really well, and replacements aren't that great. And just because something's new and shiny doesn't mean we have to run to it. And I guess that's kind of my philosophy with why I've kept my Snow Leopard MacBook for my music stuff. I mean, for one thing, I don't make enough music to justify getting whole new setups and new software and whatever. But if you think about like music from the 70s, when all they had was tape, that's still pretty good. So with the technology I have today, if I actually put some effort into it, I could make reasonable music with the old aging technology I've got now. You don't know why you're still awake? So you haven't slept all night, huh? And what is it? What, are you in America or Europe or let me try and think who's waking up right now. Must be America. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, yeah, you know. Canada. Oh, okay, yeah. So is it like holidays, summer holidays over there? And so you so solar effects. Oh, awesome. Solar effects and nervous neuron. Yeah, no, there's just some things that if it's not broke, don't fix it. Can I go on a Facebook rant because like new Facebook is just terrible, and it's like I think I was complaining before about Lulu. You know, where I published my poetry. I think Lulu, the way they did their new website migration is just terrible. Summer kind of ending. Yeah, like I mean, you probably should try to get some sleep if you can, but or what you can do is you can just push through, stay awake until it's time to go to bed again, and then hopefully by the time it's actually bedtime, you'll feel really tired and actually go to bed. Canada winter cold as hell, summer hotter than Jamaica. Yeah, well, you must get snow over there, right? Australia only has a few places that snows, and Sydney's not one of them. Not really. I mean, you could go to the Blue Mountains, but is the Blue Mountains really Sydney? Yeah. Oh my goodness. No, like you could try and push through and just go to bed your normal time and not go to bed now, but it depends how tired you're going to be. Not really healthy to try and stay up all night, but if you're having sleeping problems, that's one way to try and like reset your biological clock, I guess. Yeah, anyway, no, bloody new Facebook. I really resent that they put me onto that with no escape hatch because there are things that don't work. There's so many things that don't work. And I report them, and maybe that's why I'm stuck because they want me to report stuff. They know I'm going to complain. So they're using me as like free feedback by forcing me to use new Facebook. It's just, there's so many things that don't work and so many things they've changed that I hate so much. Yeah, resist the urge to nap in the middle of the day. Although yesterday's depression nap, I really needed it. Even though I couldn't sleep last night, I still woke up so much better having gotten this crap out of my system and just resting, really. I did have some weird dreams, though. It's not fun waking up at 7:30 and going outside in the freezing snow, walking to school. Yeah, no, I wouldn't find that fun. Gosh. Yeah, no, I think like a long time ago, Sydney might have gotten like the occasional snow, but that's kind of a freak thing anytime it happens. No, going to school in Australia, at least in Sydney, is nothing really hit NTY. Yeah, I don't know. My brain can't figure out that one. Anyway. Oh, no, thank you. I see. Yeah, a bit vague on that one. Gosh, I try to keep up with all the different language. I probably know more than some other people my age, but I do feel like I'm running behind. That's my reaction. Yeah, no, some of the abbreviations are a bit obscure and sometimes it's hard to figure out. I think I use too many internet abbreviations for someone my age, so sometimes I use them and people are like, what does that mean? And then I have to explain proof that I'm online too much. But hey, whatever. And there's like, some of the stuff that you find out that younger kids are doing I mean, like, I still can't get my head around TikTok, but yeah, I guess we'll see if TikTok survives as well, because I know, America's upset with them. So whether Microsoft buys them or what. And apparently TikTok's hiring people in Australia for some reason. I didn't bother reading the article though. I just like world events. I've really got a bit of fatigue from trying to follow everything. I'm not a fan of watching anything in America right now. Like America is just nuts, and I've run out of energy to put up with that stuff. And you guys got Swiss chalet. I have no idea what that is, but then I'm not really the person to ask about some things in Australia because, you know, I live in my own world and there's a lot of things I'm not so aware of. So yeah, you have to fill me in on that one. Um, yeah, restaurant. Oh, I don't know. I mean, there might be like somewhere that has one, but I don't think it would be common. And eh, yeah, no, who's going to restaurants at the moment? Not really anyone. I mean, there's some places that are open. Sydney's not too bad. Melbourne's where everything's kind of closed, and yeah, that would be interesting. Oh my god, am I gonna sneeze now after getting through the day pretty okay? Yeah. No, I'm really a bit tired, so maybe I'll hmm? Yeah, Melbourne's screwed. Yeah, you guys are in Melbourne, hey. Downfall of America. Oh, America's been on a downhill slope for decades. Like this is just the logical conclusion of stuff that's been going on for ages, and you know, I don't know how they're gonna sort it out, what's gonna happen, but it's just I can't watch. I check in every now and then, but I don't have the energy for it, and there's so like America is so divided. Like there's that Eminem lyric, the divided states of embarrassment, and I'm just thinking, yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's in one of his older lyrics, but it stands up. Just because, yeah, there's just this huge divide between different parts of politics, and the people who are in the middle trying to bring it together, no one's really paying attention. It's all about, you know. Let's not even go there. I can't deal with it. But yeah, no. Mm? So now they fought each other, and they call the country united. Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't even know where to begin because there's just so much, and like even when you, mm, wait a minute, the United States. Yeah, I think that's from White America. That quote, the divided states of embarrassment. He's talking about free speech, because, uh, you know, I guess Eminem was the thing to censor back then. And yeah, anyway. No, you guys in Melbourne sort of been watching from Sydney, like what's going to happen next? Because it's still stage 4, isn't it? Hey, and so you can basically do nothing. And like Sydney has some stuff open, but I haven't been going anywhere because, like, I mean, if you do go anywhere, there's all these restrictions. You know, didn't come here for yeah. No, I just like, you know, there were people who were telling me you should move to Melbourne for music, like that's where all the bands are doing stuff, blah 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 blah. Which, like, to completely uproot my life, too difficult, especially considering I have, you know, a history of mental health issues. Probably not a good idea to change all that. But they're like, yeah, but that's where you find a band and blah 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 blah. And now I'm like, well, how about that, all you guys who I know some people, well, I don't know them well, but I know of people who moved to Melbourne specifically for music, and now they're stuck there and there's no music happening. I think there are people trying to do stuff behind the scenes, so like, you know, they're writing music and whatever, but very difficult. Like in Sydney, there are rehearsal studios open, and you know, there are even gigs going on. It's just that they're sit-down gigs, and I haven't felt motivated to go. There's some places still doing live stream gigs as well. But yeah, no, it's just it's not really an inspiring environment either way. But at least Sydney's not really Melbourne's situation. Although some of our case numbers, a bit nervous about where they're going. I don't know. I wonder if the New South Wales government is being a bit cautious to introduce new things. Curfew sucks. Went to the shop tonight. It was crowded. People getting in at the last minute. Yeah, that's the thing is like anytime they like close a border, for example, you get this huge rush of people going. And then also way back towards the start of all this stuff when people were rushing Woolies and there was the toilet paper shortage and all that, and so they brought in like old people's hour. So if you were like elderly or disabled, like you could get an hour at the start of the shopping day to get your stuff before the rest of the general public's let in. And I just was thinking like, okay, so you're basically gathering all the most vulnerable people together in one spot to do their shopping. Is that really a great idea? Like on the outside, okay, Australia didn't have as bad cases as we were expecting, but I was a bit like, yes, let's gather all the vulnerable people together at once. What could possibly go wrong? You guys had that too? So virus wouldn't still be here if people listened. I think it's very difficult because like even medical staff who should know how this is going are getting infected a lot. Like in Melbourne, we're hearing that a lot of medical workers were catching the virus. Maybe there's problems with PPE and whatever, but I think like you can be careful, but it's very difficult to catch something like this. So I'm not surprised that things keep popping up. Like even New Zealand's had stuff pop up at random. Although I haven't checked on, whether or not they found the cause. I've got a lot of fatigue for stuff going on in the world. No, I think it's difficult. And then there are different opinions on what to do. And oh my God, that's another thing. Bloody Tony Abbott came out today giving his opinion. Like, why is anyone listening to him? It's just and I'm not a fan of when Kevin Rudd pops up either. It's just like, can you guys just go away? Like it's not that simple. And I know, okay, maybe you guys have different priorities on all these different issues, but just like, are you even relevant? I don't know. Especially like they're two of the characters that have so much ego that I'm just like, yeah, I don't know that I want to listen to anything you guys are saying. But yeah, no, Tony Abbott's basically just saying, oh, we should let old people die. Okay, you're kind of old. Anyway, no. Though the ABC had this interesting graph, I don't know how accurate it is, but they tried to plot number of deaths versus like economic impact or something. And Australia has like hardly any deaths and the economy is relatively good, whereas places like the US, Sweden, UK have a lot of deaths per million, I think it is, and their economies have actually done worse than ours. But I mean, when people report these things, it's very hard to know what's actually going on. Because like with deaths, different countries have different ways of reporting deaths. There's also like, how do you test? Some countries don't have as good testing facilities or, the things you need for that. And then, there's places like China where it's very hard to know if they're being accurate or not. I've watched some of those anti-China propaganda channels, and they keep getting excited about all these things, but I think they're too far the other way. Like, because they hate China, they just go a little bit over the top with trying to paint China as like being terrible, like everything is failing there. Meanwhile, China's trying to say everything is fine, and I think the truth's probably somewhere in the middle. It usually is. I've been awake for so long. I've heard my family wake up, and I've been awake in the night, and saw the sun rising. Yeah. If you can, maybe try and stay awake until, early nighttime. Maybe that'll help you get back on track. But I guess if you have anxiety, that can be a bit tricky. And I don't know, maybe you need to talk to someone who actually knows stuff, because I've only got like vague ideas. I don't know what things are like in Canada, what options you have, but maybe there's someone like here. If you've got problems like that, you'd go to your GP first, your like, regular doctor, and then they can, if you need to go see someone else, they'll sort that out. And like, here at least it seemed relatively easy for me. I guess the main thing that's difficult for a lot of people is just asking in the first place. Yeah, I don't know. The system's not perfect, but I think it works okay. What bothers me is like anytime you see on the news something about depression or anxiety or other psychological things, they're always like, cool Lifeline if you're in distress. And I'm like, okay, great. But now everyone knows about Lifeline and they just assume that's what you call when you feel shit. Lifeline is more of like a crisis service, and it sort of helps you calm down when you're really stuck and so on. But they don't fix your problems. They don't. I don't know. I've never had a good experience really when I've called them. They just kind of, I mean, I can even hear the sort of script in my head that they must be following. And really what would be helpful is if more people went to their GP as their first stop, because there will be people who are watching these programs who aren't in immediate crisis, but they are feeling shit and they don't know what to do. They call Lifeline and Lifeline's just like, hey, don't kill yourself. I'm here to listen kind of thing. But then what do you do after that? I feel like there's not enough publicity around the fact that you can see your doctor, get referrals, or maybe your doctor is enough sometimes. I don't know, it just frustrates me a lot. Watching videos on your channel keeps saying, well, yeah, no, if I can help, I'm like, it does make me feel better about YouTubing when people say like, I've been going through something similar. Like, I used to do a lot of depression videos. And when I first started, it was more of like a diary kind of. And then I was going through a lot of shit. And then people started saying, hey, this is really helpful. Like, I thought I was the only one or whatever. And then on Facebook every now and then, especially the last time I was depressed, I wrote really long things about the stuff I was going through. And I'd get private messages from people who were like, this is what I'm also going through. What do I do? Yeah, no, it's interesting. I didn't expect that talking about my issues would actually help people. I was just very sort of narcissistic introspection kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel less like a narcissist if some of what I'm doing adds value to someone else or helps out someone else somehow. Yeah, no. So if I'm helping in some way, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you for telling me. But yeah, no. There are like other things you can do if you're really going through depression and anxiety. I see my doctor, my GP, roughly once a month. Although, with what Claratyne did to me, I'll be seeing her again next week. And hopefully my mood stays fine. And, it really was just this. I mean, I guess I just have like that little bit of nervousness that maybe there was something else going on. But I think because of how biological the symptoms were, how quickly it came on, how it stopped when I stopped taking this, pretty sure it's this. So I should be fine next week when I see her. But if I notice anything else, maybe I just make a note and be like, hey, so here's some stuff that happened to me. So like I'll probably tell her that I felt a bit dizzy today while I was at work, especially like bending low and standing up. Yeah, that might have been a blood pressure thing. I really should go and check my blood pressure, but I don't think I can be bothered. It's upstairs. And then I have to remember how to use it. And I think it's designed for, like, I already have low blood pressure, and there's different settings you put the blood pressure machine on depending on how high yours is. And I have to put mine on the lowest setting, and even the lowest setting is maybe a bit high for someone like me. Yeah. Anyway, but like other things that can make you dizzy is like low iron. I don't think I have low iron. I'm not like vegetarian or vegan or anything. I like a good bit of dead animal. My brain was just thinking of a joke that's a little bit inappropriate, so I won't go there. Should go to bed, so I'm just gonna be listening to you. So bye. Okay, yeah, no. I hope you sleep okay. Although, yeah, if you can try and get your sleep pattern back to something a little bit healthier, like if you go to bed at weird times, it can mess with parts of your biology. I don't know exactly what, but there's definitely some things when you don't get enough sleep. Sleep's important for cleaning all the gunk out of your brain. Like, through the day, your brain is collecting stuff. I don't know all the technical terms, but sleep helps get rid of some of that garbage. And if you don't sleep well, that's a problem. And then, the whole blue light thing with like phones, Um, yeah, I think they did studies of like night shift workers getting some kind of illness. I don't remember. I'm too tired talking off the top of my head. Probably a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, yeah. All right. Well, I'm getting a bit tired because I worked all today. Um, Brains are strange. Yeah, that's to wrap things up. Then brains are strange. Like how like they're over the counter. Anyone can buy them. You can buy this in like I think the largest one I saw was like 60 tablets, maybe. I don't know. It was some ridiculous amount that you can buy these in bulk, so they're not worried about you abusing them or whatever. But then for it to have such a crazy reaction for me, not listed in their pamphlet. I think mum talked to a pharmacist today, and the pharmacist is saying stuff like Claratyne, Zyrtec, depression's not really a side effect anyone knows about officially, but because they're chemicals in the end, who knows how you're going to react to them. I think that was the gist of it. But yeah, it's just so weird that something like this, something so benign, the only way you could shock me more is if it was like a headache pill, like Panadol and Nurofen. If Panadol or Nurofen made me depressed, then I would just be like, who even knows anything anymore? This is just like one level down. It's an antihistamine. It's just meant to stop you from having hay fever symptoms. So, and it just completely messed up my brain. What even is that? It's just, but I'm glad it is this. I'm glad it does seem to have been this. Who even knows anything describes biology pretty well. Yeah. Oh man, there's so much weird shit that goes on in my head just generally, and that's one of the things I was thinking about on Sunday night. But that's a whole other discussion that I'm kind of thinking there's some stuff that I'm not really ready to just blurt out, and so I've been thinking maybe I'll just post something on Patreon when I can actually sit down and focus on it, because there is some stuff that I've had on my mind, but I'm just not ready to put it out there. I think like with when I first used to YouTube, and like by the time Paper Vampire turns up, you'd be like, oh yeah, here comes another fake ending. I've probably done a few in this stream, but yeah, no, when I used to do a lot of YouTube, I feel like I was like more brave with some of the stuff, just saying stuff out there, and sort of like what's changed? Why have I gone backwards? Why am I more insecure about some of the stuff that goes on in my head? And a lot of people know that this stuff goes on in my head, but I pretend that no one does, and that if I say something, it'll just be like this huge shock. And then people, do I care what people think of me? It seems like I must. I wonder, like, is it because depression, like that last depression, 2 years of feeling, it was more than 2 years of just feeling so awful, and that's the longest depression I've ever had, and I do feel like it changed my brain a bit, because I can feel stuff like empathy and whatever, like, which I didn't really have that much before. There's that. So I feel like my brain's kind of reassembled a bit, and I guess I've changed a lot, and so I'm sort of like, am I even the same person? And so, stuff I used to do, maybe I wouldn't do now. I guess that's just called growing up, getting old, whatever. But also, like, on Facebook, I've got family members, and maybe that feels a bit awkward as well. Plus, on YouTube, so many people know me now, and also, like, people in real life that I know in real life watch my YouTube channel every now and then, and that feels weird. So maybe because more people know me and whatever, maybe that feels a little bit more nerve-wracking. Like, when I first started YouTube, no one knew who I was. No one knew what my channel was. Whereas now, Destroy Americo is my identity, like, everywhere. So everyone knows. And if they really wanted to find me doing stuff, that's all they have to search. Yeah, I just wonder, is that why I've become insecure? Because everyone knows? Whereas before it was more of like anonymous. And, before that, the first kinds of stuff I did on the internet were in that pre-Facebook real name world where, anonymity was just a given on the internet. I know there are some places on the internet that still have anonymity, but I'm not really a part of it. Um, yeah, yeah. The anonymity is just it makes it easier to say some stuff, especially like way back then. I was much more insecure just in general. I had a lot of social anxiety. I think like talking to YouTube, talking to a camera, actually helped me get through some of that social anxiety. Also, like my McDonald's job, because I'm just seeing people every day. It was my first real job. That really helped me, I think, just get used to, dealing with a lot of people. Nobody knows the mind's true. No one knows because brains are funky. Yeah. I don't know. Brains are weird because like there's all kinds of stuff that's going on in your brain that you're not consciously aware of. Um if you if you have a thought about something, right? Okay, this like some people don't have an internal dialogue where you're translating your thoughts into words and all that kind of stuff. But for the rest of us who do, the bulk of us who do, like you have a thought, you already know what you're going to say in your head, but like your brain knows this, but you still have to go through the process of like spelling it out in words, if that makes any sense. Like there's weird stuff like that. I already know what I'm going to be doing. It's just like I don't need to go through this process of putting it into words, but I do anyway. Like what even is that? I've already thought of it. And all this stuff about free will and is consciousness an illusion? It probably is. We're probably all just, sacks of meat influenced by chemicals and stuff. Organizing thoughts? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, but just like thinking about stuff like that, like I already know the thought. Yeah. Oh, hello. It sounds like some stuff I spoke with a psychologist today in regards to autism. Yeah. Well, there's just a lot of things, and then especially with what Claratyne did to me, like that made me super depressed. And it's not because I was thinking stuff. Like I guess I did think some stuff, but the reaction I had to the thought was just so extreme because of this stuff, like because of the chemical. Not because of what I was thinking, it was because of the chemical. And I guess perhaps my brain was finding thoughts to help the chemical feeling make sense. It's a bit like when you dream, dreaming is like your brain reorganizing stuff, and then to try and make sense to you, your brain tries to put it into a narrative so that it's not so chaotic to your conscious mind or some shit like that. Most people. Do you know which chemical inside the medication is going to be? Well, I mean, so what's in it? It has the Loratadine is the active ingredient, and then it's also got colors, gluten. Oh no, it doesn't contain colors. It contains lactose. I don't know what else it's made of. They might not even say. Nope. Ingredients. Okay, so it's got a loratadine, 10 milligrams, and then maize starch, magnesium stearate, and lactose. That's it. And I think a lot of medications have similar things to like bind it, I guess. I imagine it's the loratadine. I don't know, just like thinking about consciousness and stuff. Antihistamine. Yeah. So I assume the active ingredient. Yeah, I think the active ingredient, I think the antihistamine is the problem. I don't know why I reacted that way. But then again, I'm sensitive to a lot of stuff. I'm also half Asian, and that it's known that Asian livers process stuff differently. And then I'm small, so if you have a dosage that's designed for the average human being, it's probably slightly more than I should be having. Maybe, I don't know. One theory of depression is neuroinflammation. Histamine receptors are part of that. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know how I would make sure to watch out for the same chemical. Well, I don't think the same chemical would be anywhere else because it's for being an antihistamine. I think I've just got to avoid probably antihistamines in general. I don't know how many classes there are, but there's a lot of ones that are related in some way. Maybe it's just not the chemical for me. But I think I've just got to be careful about anything I put into my body, really, because I've turned out to be more sensitive than I should. What can you do? Good night or morning. It's like, what, 7 or 8 in the morning over there. Oh, dear, oh dear. Yeah, no, actually, it's like 9:30 here, and I kind of want to watch Buffy before I completely lose consciousness. What am I up to? Band candy. We're past the main Angel action, but I have to get through this before I can move on to actual Angel, so yeah. I guess I just have to sit through it. And if I don't start soon, it'll be too late at night. Then again, I am having a lazy day tomorrow, so I don't really have to do anything. On the other hand, I still have to get up at 6:30 to do Hope's medication. So, well, now episodes go for 45 minutes. Maybe I can squeeze it in. Oh, man. I'm just glad the whole Claratyne thing is solved. I mean, the only way I'll know for sure, I said this yesterday, the only way I'll know for sure if Claratyne is what did it is if I wait a bit until I'm sure it's out of my system, and like, if I'm all like fine and perky, and then I take some more, like, maybe 2 days worth seem to be, how long it took. And then see if I get super depressed again, or, maybe the second time it takes a bit longer. I don't know. I noticed when I was taking antidepressants, sometimes like the second time taking the same thing would be like a slightly different reaction, not an improved reaction though. So I wonder if the body does stuff. But yeah, keep us up to date so it's no coincidence. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to put myself through this again. It was just such a horrible... Oh, hello. Hey, Hopi. I guess they might have finished, so... He's so cute and fluffy. Shall I pick him up and annoy him so you can say hello? Hopi, come here. Hopi, I'm sorry, I know. You just wanted to curl up and be snug, but then here I come along interrupting you. Oh no, I got dog fur in my mouth. Shows the doggo. But yeah, I'm not gonna try that again. I don't think. I'll talk to my doctor next week. Puppy, everyone loves you, Hopi. Even if you don't want to be here, you want to be on my bed. Oh, I'm on the internet talking to people. You might not want to be on the camera. That's Dad.
Let me know when you want that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'll try this stuff. That's just saline, yeah. And then if that one, if it doesn't work well enough, then I'll try the other stuff. Okay. Good night. You try to escape, Hopi. Oh, say good night. Good night to everyone. Okay, you can go. And he's curled up again. Hi, Dad. When I close my eyes, I got a nostalgic thought about an old series I used to watch from 2010. Oh, is it because like that stuff's not around anymore that you feel bummed? There's always new stuff coming out though, so like, and like even if something's not around anymore, you can still watch it again. Like Buffy's from the 90s or early zeros. When was this one? Oh, I got dog fur. Yeah, this is from like 98. And you can just get the DVDs and watch them, or what do the kids do? Netflix and whatever. You can keep watching this stuff. It doesn't go away. They sort of live on forever. But then there's new stuff that comes out, and maybe you find something new you're into. Yeah, mainly that. Yeah, anyway. I don't know where I was going before. I was talking about dog, maybe. Yeah, Hope's doing well. He's got another appointment in a couple of weeks. Who's messaging me? Oh. Like Netflix, but for... Oh, shut up. I just don't watch Netflix. And we recently got Disney Plus. My brother got Disney Plus, and maybe I'll watch it one day. I was thinking, like, if I was actually depressed, maybe I'd just sit in front of Disney Plus and watch Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series. But I'm not depressed, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do other things with my life. Tomorrow I'll be lazy, though, so I guess I could. Anyway, Yeah, no, this is the stuff that I'll try. So in terms of like keep us up to date, so I don't think I'll try Claratyne again. I'm just not game. But if my doctor really wants me to, but I don't think she will, because like I went in there and I was just crying. Like I couldn't stop it. It just happened. Um, it was terrible. So I think I will give this a go if I need a, hay fever thing. Yeah, it's just saline, so like salty water essentially, and see if that helps with hay fever. And if it's not enough, then I'll try Nasonex, which is a corticosteroid, and we'll see how that goes. Now, the prescription that I have, it combines corticosteroids with an antihistamine, and it's another nasal spray, but because it combines it with an antihistamine, I'm a bit like, maybe I shouldn't. So hopefully one of these things will work. It's just like, it's not that I have really terrible hay fever. It's just that, I was blowing my nose and seeing a bit of blood in the tissue and realizing I was doing it too much. Like, maybe I do need to do something. Have you thought about moving off YouTube to Twitch? No. No, Twitch is not the place for me. Like, it's more of a gamer thing anyway, more of a live streamer thing. YouTube is where I've been for ages. I've got no interest in moving. Maybe I'm old like YouTube. I don't have any interest in switching. I don't know what the benefit would be. I would have to rebuild a channel or whatever they have there. It's not worth the effort. Same with like, starting up TikToks and whatever. There's too many social media things. I think I'm okay with the number I have now. I should probably just get rid of Tumblr, to be honest, because like I don't give a shit. Nothing's happening on my Tumblr. It's just like reposting Instagram essentially. Keep up to, I mean, whether I'd remain not depressed while off it. Yeah. You should make a podcast. Oh my god, podcast. Like, most of my videos, I'm just talking. So you could just turn off the picture and it would be a little bit like a podcast, maybe. I don't have energy to do all these extra things. YouTube is like one of my homes on the internet. Facebook's the other one, but YouTube has its own vibe. And then I guess because I did so, like a lot of my earlier online life was YouTube rather than Facebook. So it still has that something special for me, I guess. That nostalgic whatever, and it feels different. YouTube definitely feels different, and I can talk about different things in a different way to what I would on Facebook. Like, I could do videos on Facebook because that's a thing there these days. I just have no interest in putting this stuff on Facebook. Like, different platforms have a different vibe, and I feel like this is just where I fit. Yeah, it's a bit like a podcast. Like, you don't need to see my face. It's doing the same thing all the time, pretty much. I don't talk in a complete monotone, so you can get a little bit of an idea of what I might look like when I'm saying things. It's mainly when I'm like waving stuff around that maybe you'd miss things, but I don't do that a lot. There's a dog fur. Yeah, there's not too many things that are visual unless I'm doing like a punk rave review or whatever, But then if you clicked on that video, you'd know it has a visual component that's actually more than just me talking. Me actually showing stuff. But yeah, no, with the depression type things, yeah, I'll definitely update. Like, if I disappear for a long time, could be depression, could just be life getting in the way. But yeah, I'll post updates. Like, if I'm going to be gone for a long time, maybe I'll just go in the community tab. Now, I know YouTube doesn't tell everyone about me posting in the community tab, so I don't know how to manage that. But most of you, I think, follow me maybe on Facebook, except I don't post on my public Facebook so much. I don't know. One way or another, you'll eventually find out how I'm going. Yeah, no, just go. Try and get some sleep and just, yeah, chill out. At 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is over there. Hope you feel better. Yeah, anyway, oh my god, there's more people watching, and I'm sort of like thinking maybe I should wrap up. If anyone has like a desperate question, chuck it in the chat now before I leave. Someone's doing stuff. Yeah, no, I'll try and keep you guys updated on how I go with my mood, and also I guess hay fever stuff, because if you're like me and you can't take this, maybe you want to know what else works. We'll see how we go. Yeah. Yeah, no, I want to watch Buffy, so I'll give people a few seconds to, because I know sometimes there's a delay with live streaming, so I'll give people a minute or so to type up a question, or if it's a long question, just type wait for me in the chat, and I'll wait a little bit longer. But usually when I get to this point and I'm like, hey guys, ask me questions, people tend not to. There's some people who just watch and never say anything, and I have no idea who they are. And also, like, people going to bed, walking up and down the hallway is a bit distracting for me. Okay, so no one has any other questions. I'm going to go then. I'll like, comment, share, subscribe, notification bell, even though YouTube doesn't seem to be great at stuff. And even with commenting, sometimes YouTube, how many grapes go in a bunch? Of course it would be you. Oh my god, paper vampire. Yeah, I'm too tired. I'm going. Oh, well, no, it's a good night. It's actually night here in Australia. But yeah, maybe tomorrow. We'll see how I go. Bloody paper vampire. I'm going. I'm gonna go and watch Buffy and just ignore the shit out of you. Bye, guys. How do I end the stream? Oh, I get confused because sometimes I'm on the phone and the... Are you sure you want to end your stream? Yes, I am sure. Bye, guys.